So this is a follow-up video to the garage floor painting that I have been doing, and previously showed you the paint that I use, which is this BEHR 1-part epoxy. There's the color code for what I'm using, the Silver Gray. Let me flip this around here. I went out and bought another 5-gallon bucket, completely unopened. I don't need it for this project, so I'm going to save it for maybe the other garage on the house. There was a change of plans. I didn't use the epoxy, did a little more research and found out that the epoxy, the UV resistance is not there, so you can't use it on anything outdoors. And besides yellowing, it also cracks and starts to peel, according to the rep at the Home Depot. So I'm glad I asked again. I went with this. Now this is just a sealer, and a huge difference in price. So the 1-part epoxy that I just showed you is $105 plus tax per kit. According to the coverage I was going to need, it's 150 square feet to, I think it was 400. And since it's already been coated with a BEHR 1-part epoxy, I figured 400 square feet. I'd need the minimum 3 kits. I bought 6 just to be sure, because I've watched other videos and they say you always run short. Turns out that was like $620 plus tax. Huge amount of expenditure, plus the fact that I couldn't use it outside. It's a 2-part, had to be rolled on. Just a real pain in the butt. So I went with this sealer here. Now this sealer is, they say wet look, and I'm going to show you in a minute what it looks like. These are $29, $30 a gallon. I ended up using 5 gallons, so it's $150. So it's about 5 of these to 1.5 of the epoxies. And let me show you what we got here. Now this is the outdoors, and you can see the fleck that I used too. The fleck was just a random pattern, throw it out there. I would not recommend following the fleck bag, because the bag says the coverage is 150 square feet per bag. I got about 1,500 square feet, so I bought 10 bags following their recommendation. As it turns out, I used 2 bags, and let me show you what that looks like. So here is the carport. Now we've got the sun there, so it looks super glossy. Maybe it is that glossy right now, I don't know. But that's the look, and you can see the fleck that I used. It's not super heavy. It's a random pattern. I used the, what do you call that? Fertilizer or grass seed. The little, let me show you what it looks like. It's a little spreader. So it looks like this, and you pour your little fleck in there. This is what's left. I used 2 bags and I had that much left, so I have about 1,500 square feet. So let me show you the inside and see if you agree with me that it really doesn't need any more fleck. So here's the inside, and this is not in sunlight, so you don't have that same sheen that you do in the on the carport. There is a shine to the floor, you can see, and there's some areas where the fleck is, you know, more heavily concentrated. It's a random pattern, and I really am happy. I'm just thrilled with this floor. And the reason I switched from the epoxy is, one, I want to touch this stuff up. Actually, it is pretty shiny. I do want to touch this stuff up. And with the BEHR 1-part epoxy, you can use a paintbrush, paint your repaired section, throw some flakes out by hand, and then put some of that wet sealer on. And it's an easy repair. It goes outside, and I don't have to worry about the UV, because the sealer can, you know, it's fine, and it's also easy to touch up. The #1 biggest reason I'm glad I use the sealer is because the application. The application was with a sprayer. So Home Depot sells a sprayer that's made for this, and I'll show you what it looks like. it's this deck sprayer. It's built for sealers and stains. It's just a pesticide sprayer. You could do it with a pesticide sprayer, I'm sure, but this kind of gives a finer mist. The only problem with it is the fan. If you can picture the fan being kind of like a V like that, my two fingers would leave a hard line when you would spray, and then it was a mist in the middle. And the way I got around that was, after applying, I realized that all I have to do is take the spray wand like this, point it up in the air, and then just spray it around like that in circles and let it fall like rain. When I did it with that method, it gave a more even coat. There were no more two-line streaks from the edges of the fan. And I just think it came out great. As a matter of fact, you can probably see, well, no, that's the concrete. But anyway, in the beginning, you could see those two lines. It was very, very clear. But by the time I did 3 coats of this stuff, because it's so cheap, 5 bottles for $150. So I did 3 coats of it, and I am thrilled. Easy to apply. So I airless sprayed the paint, and then I came back with the wet look sealer from BEHR and the spray applicator, which is, like I said, like a pest control sprayer. You pump it up and just to hold the wand up and just do that like in little circles and let it fall like rain. And you get a nice, beautiful coat like this. So the chips were originally designed to remain on top of the paint, and then people started putting clear afterwards, and that's just info I got from the Home Depot guy. So, you know, it doesn't do like the epoxy. You actually get to bury these under a nice thick coat of epoxy, but again, I wouldn't be able to do anything at the doors because it'll yellow and crack. And then maintenance is a nightmare because you'd have to chip it up, sand it, and redo it. This is the easiest low maintenance solution that I could come up with it. And I'm just, I'm thrilled because, like I said, I showed you previously my 20-year-old driveway and it's still going. I could have recoated it 5 years ago, but even so, it's great. And it's easy, and its maintenance is a breeze, and cost is way down there when you're talking about this. They said it would be like 12 to 1,500 square feet per 5 gallons. I sprayed it on. Could have easily done it with 10 gallons. I still have 1.5 gallons left of those 10 gallons. I just didn't want to keep pouring it on. It didn't need it. The coverage was awesome. All those cracks that you saw me try to fill, they came out pretty decent. You can still see right there. I mean, if you look and you get it right in the right light, you can see the cracks. But for the most part, you can't when you're walking over them. Plus, it's garage. So I'm going to be rolling jacks, transmissions, engines, you name it. So next up is going to be my mezzanine. So stay tuned for that video. And thanks for watching How to Heaven. Keep watching, keep subscribing, and I'll see you next time. Bye.